Hello guys, this is day 2, just heading over to Dan's to get the suspension started. So got him a cup of tea and heading over there right now. Oh, g'day mate.
Oh, thanks very much.
Got a present for you. There you go. That'll set our day off. Yeah,
nice
yeah.
And warm
it's
on
just
a slightly cooler morning.
Yeah, that's right, mate. It's just been made for you.
Ah, thank you.
How's that, eh? Suppose we're going to get into it in a minute.
Well,
can't wait, mate.
I'm going to have a quick bit of breakfast because I got up pretty early to prepare things, and then
I'm a bit early.
We'll get stuck into it. And usually I keep the tape measure central on the hub there, so that you kind of going to get it in the same position every time. Hold it into the tie with your knee, and look at that. We're basically exactly 3 foot. So we've got 915 mil there, right? And then we go from the top of the tyre, same again, keep it fairly central. So we've got about, what have we got there? About 155 mil. So we've got 915 and 155. So we go 915, 155. And then we want to better that, basically.
Okay. I think we're going to do that.
We're just going to check to see if you're on. I'm going to say it is on a bit of a lean because they usually are. And anyone with a KDSS, Prado, 200 series, or whatever, be warned. You've got to be very, very careful how you raise those because they will cause you grief. So here we are. What are we there? We're about 920, so there's about 5 mil variance there. Ooh. Okay, and about 160.
That might be due to the knuckle.
Quite possibly, quite possibly. So it's not a massive amount. So we've got 920 and 160. Oh, sorry, I've done that wrong there. We want to go 920.
Dan's not 160. The
Put it in the wrong column.
That's it.
So here we have. I'm gonna call that.
Oh, the airbags.
970. The airbags for air.
Yes.
Okay.
That's about 10 pounds of air.
Right. We'll let that out because we don't want.
Lucky I
false
said that, mate.
Here. Yeah. We want them flat anyway for when we go to put them inside the new coils.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have to give it a rock, mate, to settle it in?
No. I was like, you were going to cheat us out of some millimeters then.
Can't have that.
No. Yeah, there you go. Drop by 5 mil. So 965. Actually, we'll just quickly put on here. 210. 965. And what have we got there? 205. 5 mil difference.
Ooh. Right, and get in the right column.
Yeah. Right, okay. So we'll just base it off of that that measurement there, and I say we'll better it, and we'll aim for, in the rear we'll try and push it up to about 970, 980. In the front we'll just go a nice round 930. I reckon just push it up by about 10-15 mil all round.
And lots of travel.
Well,
is that right?
You're going to get certainly more travel in the rear. The front does limit us a bit, and you can get travel out of an IFS setup. You can, but in order to do that, it requires a fairly extensive modification to the front. Longer arms, much longer shocks, raising the shock towers.
Increased budget.
Dropping the disc, and a very large increase in budget. Yeah. I have actually done a full long arm setup on a Suzuki Vitara.
Now, mate, you said you hadn't had brekkie yet, so I better let you have brekkie.
Yeah.
Now, I'll loosen up the nuts on the front if you want.
I'm going to get the vehicle in the air and then you can do that. And I'm going to go around and quickly spray a few things with WD-40 because I know they're going to be stiff.
Do you reckon I should undo the nuts before you put up on the horse? Makes it easier.
No, we're just going to get the rattle gun on there. And,
okay.
Set them off.
Not the old-fashioned way.
Not the old-fashioned one.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Pretty much the first step with this, obviously wheel off. Always have something, so if you're doing this on the ground, a jack or a jack stand, so, we'll make sure you've actually got a jack stand supporting the weight of the vehicle on the chassis, and then a jack itself to support the lower arm. Do not start undoing anything until you've actually supported this lower arm, because you've still got some pressure exerted on this arm via the coil here. If you release anything on here, it's going to unload on you and it will hurt a lot. So support the lower arm, take off your tie rod end first out of the actual knuckle, sway bar, take that away, make sure you undo the brackets that hold your brake lines and your wheel speed sensors, because you don't want to stretch or break the wiring. It's a very costly venture otherwise. Once you've done that, brake caliper off, hang that up out the way on the chassis there. Take your rotor off as well, it just lightens everything up a bit, you know, on the weight of the rotor hanging off, and also you don't want it falling off onto you. Once you've done that, you can release this top nut here, okay? And this arm is going to pop up just out the way. Usually I get a bar in here just to hold it a little bit, but this arm will pop up out the way, and then you can release the load off of the lower arm and it'll all come away nice and easy, and safely as well.
And what's the verdict on a bit of damage?
Yeah, that definitely looks bent to me. Bent past where it should be anyway. This angle here definitely looks like it's
so you can see that
slightly increased. So I think it's I think that, like I said, this is where they bend usually, just here, and it basically pushes the top of the hub this way. So we'll get it all apart anyway, and we'll set them side by side, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be it. There. There's some 12s and some 13s. There you go, your brackets. Yeah, that's still nice and firm. Just have a bit of a wiggle on the rack end, it feels good. Right, now this should pop out like that. And you can actually take the sway bar out altogether, which is what I'm probably going to do, but if not, you can just flip it up and sit it up out in the way there. So you kind of got to do both sides on this, because it won't move otherwise. Just sits up there. They're not the best. They're not the best. You want some new ones or not?
What do you reckon? Might as well.
They're not the best.
Right. There we go, eh? So our first parts that we have to order, we've come across. So I'm just going to say, yeah, Dan, whatever you reckon, mate. I might get an extra bill in the end, but hey, that's all right. But you are enjoying doing suspension on the Prado today?
Yes, yeah. I haven't done a 150 series for a little while. So just with this here, the wheel speed sensor, just be very, very careful. These connectors can be incredibly tight. As you saw there, I had one screwdriver just pulling the little clip open and the other one levering it off. Don't pull on the wires, because these are pretty expensive, these looms here, and I mean, yes, we can repair them, but avoid it at all costs. Just be very careful with them, and definitely remove it. Don't leave this attached, because you'll stretch the wiring and then you'll have problems. don't do skimming anymore.
Okay.
All the new rotors are quite light in material, and you skim them, especially in a vehicle that's got a fair bit of load on it, and they warp. You skim them, you get less material on there, and then they start warping. So I tend to go upgrade them to a heavier compound rotor, and yeah, some good heavy duty pads in there. Like skimming them actually, although it puts a nice fresh surface on there, and you know, you take all the warping and whatnot out of it, you're actually reducing the life of the rotor doing it that way. So I've just gone away from it now, and especially with nearly every four-wheel drive that comes through here, they go, oh, I want a better set of brakes. And they go, well, skimming the rotors is not going to be better, and just putting pads in it alone is not going to be better. You've got to have the rotor there as well. So something like a DBO Street Series and a set of good Bendix four-wheel drive pads, yeah, there are better than that, but that's kind of where we start, at least, something like that. And they just last a lot longer. They'll handle the heat better as well. You know, under heavy braking with a bit of load on there, they'll handle the heat better. So or you reduce the risk of brake fade. I'm never going to say you won't get brake fade, because it's possible depending on how you drive the vehicle, but it certainly will help reduce it. Yeah. Right, so next thing, now that we've got that off there, is we need to pop this cap off and undo the large nut that holds the CV spline into the hub there. Do that first, because what will happen is if you pop that, it's going to throw itself forward and end up separating the CV inside. And yes, you can get it, give them a bit of a wiggle and pop them back in, but just eliminate that altogether and pop it out from there.
And then put the new knuckle in, eh?
Yeah. We're going to do a lower ball joint before we put anything in there though. I do have a little trick way of doing this, but because you've got a camera on me, my little trick way will be the only time in history that it's never worked. Yeah. But I'm going to do it anyway.
Okay.
What did I need here? A little chisel, that's right.
Very nice.
You end up buckling them a little bit.
Ooh. Condensation or water?
Condensation, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we take this off here. Right.
I think you mentioned before, this out of sides to go, this is normally the side that goes first, isn't it, in relation to the bearings and that?
To the wheel bearing, it's usually the passenger front that is the one that I find I do the most of, yeah. Reason being is a lot of cornering and roundabouts, you're always shifting the weight of the vehicle onto this hub here.
It gets all the bad roads.
And there's certain drivers out there that are really good at clipping curbs, and you just keep clipping curbs continuously. Yeah, that's the one that cops the brunt of it. So usually, if the customer's kind of open to it, I do them as a pair and put two heavy duty ones in there. Do both fronts as a set instead of just doing the one. But if people just want a repair, just to get them out of trouble, we'll just do the one side. But personally, I prefer to do them as a pair, and then they're matched as well.
Except for me, I'm kind of replacing this for other reasons.
Yeah. They put up a fight.
That's because you sprayed it, didn't you?
No, I didn't spray that one. No. Usually they put up a little bit of a fight, but.
Oh, you know why? This one's been off before, Paul.
Has it?
Remember it had that little leak up to Cape York?
Oh yeah, that's right, yeah. But when I usually reinstall these, I just put a little bit of anti-seize in there, because if these get stuck in there, they're a hell of a time to get out. You've got to usually pop the CV out of the diff, heat this up with the oxy, and then press them through, and a bit of anti-seize, it's not going to happen. Also as well, sometimes if they go dry in these splines, they can start making a bit of a clicking noise. So yeah, the anti-seize helps with that as well. Okay, this is a very important part. So you've taken the nut off the top. Wind it back on, 3 or 4 threads. And the reason for this is when we tap this here, it's going to separate in the taper, and the last thing you want is this thing flying forward at you. This is literally going to catch this, and you'll see exactly what I mean. So if I give this a... just like that. Right? So you're not having something flying at you, and then you can just pull down on this top arm, like that. Take off your couple of threads, and everything separates nice and easy.
Mate, I'll be using this as an instruction video.
As an instruction video.
Just for me alone.
I did have someone work with me once when I was an apprentice, and they just undid this without any support, and it went whack and got them right in the chest.
You were the apprentice?
I wasn't the apprentice. Oh. Well, I was an apprentice at the time, but I was working in a dealership, and the whole thing, this was on a Colorado, I think, something like that. And anyway, the whole front of the hub come back and took a good nice chunk out of his chest. I go, there's a lot of pressure on there. You've got to remember, this is holding a vehicle up.
Yeah, yeah.
So do it that way. And then you'll notice that there is some pressure on this here, and that is because when these arms are installed, they're installed and bolted in at ride height. And that's very important when you reinstall these. You do not just put the arm in and tighten it. You actually want to tighten this nut here. This is a really long bolt that runs through here. You want to tighten this up with the vehicle at ride height. If you don't, you're going to get bind in the bushes, and it's going to dramatically reduce the life of the bushings. It's going to split them, but also as well, you're going to make your suspension really uncomfortable. As in, it's going to be uncomfortable for the suspension itself, because you've got a bush that's, if say we had this right the way down here, and then we go and push it up at full ride height, the bush is already under a lot of tension. We don't want that. We want it to be as neutral as possible. Same with these, with the lower eye, and same with your lower arms as well. Everything gets tightened up at ride height. So this now should just push through. Should push through. There we go.
You don't want to see, is that from all the salt?
Yeah, it's just a bit of surface rust. It's really not the end of the world.
Try to be very good and give it a good wash down.
Yeah, I'll wriggle that out. The best part about these lower ball joints is that they're just held in with this bracket by 2 bolts. There's one there. And then exactly the same on the other side. And then that comes away just like that.
That looks like the one that's sitting over there now.
It's exactly the same.
Only that's in worse condition. We'll have to compare it.
Yeah.
Have we got lid in?
Right, now I know that this is not symmetrical, but if you look physically here, you can see the height of this is, well, it's higher up than this one here. So this one, the bend has increased, and you can see that it's actually, can you physically see the difference there? That's, you know, this is actually bent, and this one is not. So this one's bent further down. So the arch or the angle here has been increased. So we should be seeing these both at the same height, but this one clearly is higher than this one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not much. It's only bent by like 5 mil, but that's all it takes. 5 mil is a lot when you go through that kind of length, you know.
It was a pretty big bang. Like I said,
yeah.
Ruben from DMW, he thought I'd done a CV, it was that loud. And he heard it from the car in front.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Like, your suspension would have completely bottomed out.
So I suppose I'm lucky that's all right now.
Yeah. Everything else looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep all the mozzies and that away.
Dan's liking my hardcore rechargeable lights.
I am like.
They come as a kit of 4 and they charge up 4 at once.
Now we just want to get this out the way. So it's nearly there. There, and I'll show you how long this bolt is.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it's like a foot long.
For a very good reason, I would say.
For a very good reason, yeah. So that goes right the way through the top arm there, through the rear of this strut tower, which holds the top arm in. It's an exceptionally strong bolt. It's a 10 grade. Yeah, that's one that's important, that needs to be torqued up correctly.
Okay. Now going back to these lights then, you know that I've only got these in here to film.
Yeah.
Not for you.
Oh, they're not standing.
Yeah, okay. So how's that looking, Dan, as far as...
It's actually alright. Even the ball joint is still pretty good. It's nice and firm. Bushes look in reasonable condition. But like I say, the whole idea of upgrading these arms is mainly to get your caster back into spec. But the added strength of them, of the aftermarket ones, is a huge bonus.
Oh, that's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
They wear out.
But this is just a crush tube here, and then you've got the actual bushing membrane inside, and then there's a steel sleeve that presses inside of this here. You can see it just there on the very edge, steel sleeve. Right, so there's three parts to this. It's an outer casing, steel sleeve, the bushing itself, the rubber, and then the crush tube in the middle. But I'll show you the difference between the arms.
Let's compare the...
But this is the difference, right? So if you look, we compare this here, right? So this here is actually set further this way, okay? The ball joint itself, where it actually attaches to the top of that knuckle, is further towards this bush than this one here. Right, so you can kind of see that if you look in relevance to where this ball joint is sitting. This one here would intersect on the arm, or about there. This one's more like here. Right, so it's sitting further across.
Oh, look at the quality of that.
Yeah, but there's a difference. I feel like difference in weight. But yeah, the whole idea is that it's pushing it further towards the rear of the vehicle.
Okay.
Okay, which will rotate your knuckle back, which will bring your caster up. Okay, so I think this is, I'm pretty sure these are around about 3 degrees of caster, something like that. Yeah, yeah.
So then that, for the upper control arm,
Yeah.
so the other side came out alright, that big long bolt, but this one, this side, the driver's
This side,
has a problem.
yeah, you've got to, there's like a big shroud for the wiring harness that sits up there, and we'll have to do it from the top. You've got to pull that up out the way, but we'll do that from the top in a sec. So you just can't get the bolt right the way out. It's easy enough from the top there, but we'll get the struts out now anyway.
So yeah, I don't think you can see that. That's that one in there. It's not as easy to come out.
So these should be pretty loose actually. Sometimes with a vehicle that's got a little bit of age on it, maybe done a bit of beach work, stuff like that, these strut tops can become seized into the tower and they're quite troublesome to get out. So you've kind of got to soak them with WD-40 and give them big belt here with a chisel, and eventually they pop out, but yours should come out very, very easily. So the method is you put a jack underneath the lower arm here, right there, to support it. That's all you're doing is just supporting it to stop this from pushing down. Right? You get your CV kind of out the way a bit. We need to get this off first. I'll do this. Just hold one hammer there. Just like that. Right. Now, this is the way I do it. Safety glasses on. If you get it just right, these things fly out.
Okay, do I need to stand back then?
The hammer that I used to use to do this, I broke it. And it was the perfect size, the perfect weight, but this is the one we're going to use. So you get the ball side of the hammer and you hit it as hard as you can dead center, and sometimes within one hit they'll come out. In one hit.
Okay.
Yours aren't going to go. But I've had many of them where you go one hit, but this one doesn't have the weight in it like my old hammer used to. So I think what we're going to have to do is press these ones because they haven't moved at all. But I'll just give it one whack with this.
G'day mate, what do you got? Some sway bar links for me?
Yeah.
Ah, awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, you too mate. Good time to check for oil leaks, hey Dan?
Well, you can see everything. There's only a little bit of oil residue there from where the filter's been changed, but other than that, it's pretty easy. It makes the starter motor very easy to get to.
Yes, yeah, I reckon.
Through here.
And the only other bit of residue is probably going to be from the EGR, mate.
Yeah.
And I rounded a few bolts off. There's no temporary fix on that noise, is there?
No. We've got to pull it off. And
It sounds like I've got to
put another gasket in there.
Yeah, rightio.
Right. If you do the same for me again, just push
Yep.
down on there and yep, that's it. Right.
Dan makes it look so easy when you're watching him do stuff. Man, I'd still be undoing some of the bolts probably 3 hours later, I reckon, if I was doing this at home.
We work roughly on about 6 hours front to back. The
Yep.
whole lot on these, usually I do them in about 6 hours.
Yep.
Get it all set up. Make sure the angles and geometry is correct. Yeah, that's...
And then a
that-
wheel alignment on top of that at the end.
And then a wheel alignment at the end, yeah. But that's when I'm here by myself, no distractions, I just
No,
get stuck
no,
straight into
no
it.
with a camera in front of you.
Right, next thing we're going to do is the lower ball joints. Okay, we're going to get rid of these ones and press some new ones in there. Okay.
Look at that, eh? Can't do that with a AGM battery. Just lift it up, take it out. While she's out, I might as well have a look at the state of it. She's looking pretty good, Dan.
Pretty good.
Yeah. You'll see a bit of a bow on there, but these particular batteries had it's just a issue with their plastic. So the actual battery itself is fine. It's just this outer plastic lining.
I was just setting this up, so you got to, or like I was saying yesterday, to fine tune these. What I do is I measure from the center of the lower eye to the lowest point of contact where the coil's going to sit. So the actual end of the coil sits in this little recess here. So I measure from here to the center of the eye. So you flip it around like that. Here to the center of the eye. And I set it at the same height or the same distance as stock, and then I adjust from there. So I've set yours about 7 mil longer from here to the center of the eye, which should give us that little bit of an increase in the front that we want.
Yep.
Okay. And they'll just keep the threads protected anyway. And once they actually pull down nice and tight, they're not going to rub too much on here, and it's only, feels like it's nylon or something. It's PVC. It's not
Part of the working mechanism.
It's not really part of it, no. So we need to get the bushings correct. So basically what we have, so we've got some new strut tops here. There should be a bushing or a washer that goes like this. Then your strut top goes on like that, and then you'll have another bush, all right, and then a washer like that, and then your lock nut will go on top of there. Okay. I want to make sure I've got this right, because they supply way too many bushes with these things, and you've got to select the right one. So they don't count on you running these ones. So that will already be in there. There's that, and then you've got this one here, which is supposed to go. See, I wouldn't run that personally. I wouldn't run that one in there. I'm pretty sure they do want to put this one like that, however, which we can put that like that. This back a little bit like that. Make sure they're all clear of it. For anyone wondering, this is called a Brannick, and it's the latest series of coil compressors from Brannick. They're made in the USA, and they are absolutely superb. They are the best that I've ever used by far. Yeah, they're nice and safe. The way this is set up is super strong. It's all fully adjustable, top to bottom, and it's just a real quality piece of gear all around. It needs a bit of a clean, because I've been in here grinding and welding, and it's pretty dusty. But anyway, they're very good, and they're nice and safe, which is the main thing. You can wind these away, and it'll compress this coil nicely for us, just like that. And you feed this up through the bottom. A note: the flat section does not go to the bottom; it goes to the top. Feed that through there like that. And then we're ready to place a bush on, which will be this one here. Oh no, sorry, the bush is already in the strut top. Ignore me, it's already in there. The bush is already in there, so we put that in like that. Now, just want to kind of wiggle this and get it to sit in there, like that. So I think we're going to need to compress this coil just a little bit more. That. Got a bit of a wiggle. Another bush. Well, actually, we're supposed to go that washer first, and a bush. I think we're going to need to compress it just a little bit more, but no, we're going to get away with it. washer on top, and then there's a locking nut that goes on there like that. Yeah, if you're ever doing this at home, my word of advice is don't attempt to compress these with a standard set of coil compressors. These are incredibly tough coils. Like the rears, you'd have much better chance of compressing them. These are super tough, and most of your standard coil compressors won't even get anywhere close to compressing these enough. And if it happened to slip or let go, it's an injury waiting to happen. It's sometimes fatal. So you can buy these from Dobinsons actually fully assembled, just like this, and it's the best way to go. It's very cheap. I don't, because I like to set them up myself, but they only charge you about $40, I think, something like that, to actually buy it completely ready assembled, which is easy. You just pull one out and put one in. But yeah, like I say, I like to adjust these myself and to suit the vehicle, so I don't really want to have to pull it all apart again. I would rather just do it before I put it together. So, yeah. Okay, so the next step is, now what we've got to do is we've got to align this while it's still movable. So you just go off the reference of the old strut, and you basically, this is your reference point. So this usually runs kind of on the same plane as the edge of the eye there. So you just want to move this to the same direction if you can. To about there, and it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but you want to get it pretty close. And then the other, this is more important, is the way that this strut top is bolted. If you just crank it down, these won't line up with the bottom eye correctly, and you won't be able to fit it to the vehicle. So generally speaking, with these, if you look straight down the top to the eye, this particular pin should be dead in line with it, and then you'll have two at the front of the eye there. Okay, so there goes the phone. That'll be a Prado 150 suspension upgrade request.
Yeah.
Right, so
are you going on Insta?
Yeah, simply all we do is we just twist the strut top like this until we get it in line with our eye there. And you may have to shift it a little bit in the vehicle, but get it as close as possible before you actually clamp everything down. So that there is looking pretty good. There's your comparison.
Wow. I'll take a photo as well, eh?
The eyes on these are quite big, so you just kind of gotta. We'll get there in a sec. I just want to bolt this in. Hang on a sec.
What do you got there, Dan?
So this is the, look, I'm making it all dusty. New upper arm for this side. So they are sided to this right hand side.
So there is a right and a left side?
There is a right and a left, yeah. You physically can't, well, you could fit it the other way, it would be completely the opposite. Yeah. So what we've got to do with this is you kind of got to get the bolt. They're not that easy to you've got to get it like that, feed it up and in there if you can. I might actually do it the other way. I might actually do it the other way. I'll get the bolt up there first. Try. yeah, that's not going to work. Maybe it did. That is unbelievably tight. Absolutely ridiculously tight. On me.
What just happened, Dan?
Got it out. Now,
Oh,
I just
goodness me.
want to confirm the reason why I'm reluctant to pull this out and put it in my press is because this particular fitting here, or this housing for the lower ball joint doesn't fit very well in my press. Now that's not a very good excuse, I know, but it doesn't. There is hardly any purchase underneath here to get it onto, and it slips continuously. So usually, for say I either get a big ball peen hammer and pop them straight through, or get a mini press onto it like one of these. But this one has been hard work.
One hell of a...
It has been hard work. So I just heated it up and let it cool down, and without too much effort it started to come out. So anyway,
I just want to say, mate, a lot of effort.
a lot of effort.
Not too much, a lot of effort.
A lot of effort. But that's all right. They're out.
One's out.
One's out. Yeah, one's out. Well, we've let this one cool down a bit now.
Okay.
So it's, well, I still feel like it's a bit warm, but
Stubborn.
we'll,
Can you say buggers on YouTube? Stubborn buggers.
yeah, like I say, if this was into the casting on this side as well, this little flat area, you'd have a nice little lip there to get it into the press, but here there is literally nothing. There is such a minor little lip there, a little edge, and when I sit it in my press, this wants to just kind of slip off all the time, and it then becomes a waste of time pulling them out. But I say, lately I've just been replacing whole arms because the ball joints as well as the bushes have been stuffed, but yours, the bushes are perfect, and I actually couldn't get the lower arms that I usually use. There's no stock at the moment, so that's why I got the ball joints. But anyway, this is fine.
Right, just a bit of a hold up.
Just a bit of a hold up. Yeah.
Alright.
Right. They go in
Apparently they go in a bit easier.
very, very easy.
Than the ones that come out.
It's the coming out part. So it's the painful bit. Like I say, I will probably make up a tool to go in my press to hold these, and it's just there's just nothing there. But putting them in is really, really easy.
Okay.
And I will show you how. It is incredibly simple, and you can use one of these little mini presses, ball joint presses. Okay, they just sit in there like this. Alright, so all I've done is literally just put a bit of WD-40 around the top of the lower arm there. Right. That's just to help it on its way so it doesn't bind or catch on anything. Right, and all we do, once we've got it all aligned, just make sure it's all square, which it is you just simply, well, I don't want to take the camera out here, but you gotta go pretty hard at it to get these in. They just press in like this. And if you're an Olympic rower, you'll love this, you'll find it nice and easy.
Well, you already had a gym work today, didn't you?
We already had the gym workout today. Just make sure that they are fully at home. And that is it. So 30 minutes coming out, 30 seconds going in.
And more some, mate.
Yeah.
So there we go.
But that's the way I usually do them, like I say. Lower ball joints, yeah. That's the way I usually do them. If you can't tap them out with the hammer, usually you can get one of these little mini presses on and push them through, but yours was super stubborn, so we had to use a bit of heat. Heat it up, cool it down, heat it up, cool it down, and eventually they work their way out. But yeah, anyway, let's keep going.
So mate, this is the second-hand new one, eh?
A second-hand new one, yeah.
So what do you reckon? 89,000 Ks roughly this one's done?
That's what he said, about 89,000. I think that's what was on the odometer when it got T-boned, this particular one. But yeah, like I say, he assured me it was a vehicle that had probably never been put in low range.
We've never seen a bit of dirt either, eh?
Now you can see straight away, I'll just pull this out slightly. Can you see how it has pushed the top of this steering knuckle, this hub, backwards? Right, so it's actually essentially rotated this way, okay? So this is further this way than the standard one. The standard one would have sat, this would have sat probably about here.
Okay.
Right, so this is how we've now increased the caster.
Okay.
Right.
So in effect that gives you better steering?
It gives you
better handling,
better, or it'll give you truer alignment and a much better feel to your steering. Yeah. You need to have caster to keep your steering true and have a nice feel. So your steering becomes very, very floaty if you lose too much caster. Okay. And also you'll start to wear tyres very prematurely, and overall it won't feel right in the front. It will feel quite light. You don't want it to feel nice and firm. Yeah.
I know, she looks very pretty.
It is. I have to say that the colour scheme is quite extraordinary. Yeah.
Look at those lights, mate. They're still going strong.
They're still going, yeah.
I've sold him some hardcore lights.
Yeah, I'm sold on those. Yeah, you don't have to ask me twice.
I'll buy them and
there's lunch.
Oh, here comes lunch. Look at this. Wait on. Better go and see lunch. Uber Eats. G'day Uber Eats. How are you? Hey? How are you? Thanks for that.
Hello.
Interrupted your day, haven't I? Thank you. What do you got there? Some sandwiches, eh?
Sandwiches. There's a treat in here.
Oh my goodness!
If you can see it, one fell over.
That's all right. And where'd these come from?
This is from the they're from the bakery.
Yeah.
But these are from the Paris Inn.
Really?
Place. She said to me,
Wow.
Are you taking your husband cakes after he asked you to come and bring food? I go, yes. So she told me I was wife of the year.
Oh,
So
wow.
enjoy.
And where the sandwiches come from? The bakery? Which one?
Oh, the Born and Bred Bakery.
Cool.
Up at the Mort Street estate.
Okay. Thanks, Born and Bred Bakery, for lunch. Dan's going to well and deserve it.
Annie's the baker here.
Annie the baker. Annie. Thanks, Annie the baker. Awesome. Pop that there. And
It's lemon, vanilla and lemon curd and caramel mud.
Okay. Caramel mud.
Mud cake.
All right.
Yeah,
Sweet.
there you go. Obviously
You're a champion.
the hand's for you.
You're a champion. Thanks.
No worries.
Appreciate that. My Uber Eats. Dan and I, especially Dan, he'll be forever grateful.
Well, you have to fight over the cakes.
Oh, the one's fallen over, so.
Oh, it'll still be alright.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll taste good.
You just have to stand him up again.
You want to have a look? You want to come over and have a look? It's very colourful in here, baby. Yep. I'll take you through the front. Just going to show Shelley the colour. Just showing Shelley how colourful it is.
Oh, look at the purple.
He loves my hardcore lights. He wants a set.
Yep.
So what do you reckon, mate?
Very nice.
So we had trouble. Oh, it's covered up now, but I don't know if you can see. We couldn't get that one out, the old one out, because we had to put a new one in.
Oh, right.
It took us, how long did it take us, Dan? About an hour?
Yeah, I hate to admit it, but yeah, it took probably an hour to do the pair of them.
So I'm not sure yet. We've got to see how we go.
Yep.
Yeah, well, actually,
We're gonna be in time
it
for
took 59 minutes to remove them
Oops.
and 1 minute to put
To put them back in.
Literally. Well, hopefully we save some time on that one, eh? I try not to talk to Dan too much.
Yeah, I said to him, don't talk to Dan so Dan can do his work.
That's all right. We'll get it done. We'll get it done.
That's right.
All right.